The Galactic Incident. The Galactic Council chamber buzzed with tension. Representatives from 100 different species shifted uneasily in their seats, their varied anatomies creating a symphony of rustles, clicks, and whispers. At the center of the vast amphitheater, a holographic display flickered to life, showing the aftermath of what would soon be known as the Proxima Incident. Ambassador Jolak, a tall, willowy being with iridescent skin, stood to address the assembly. Esteemed colleagues, they began, their voice amplified throughout the chamber. What you see before you is the result of a tragic miscalculation. The Orcs collective's attempt to harvest resources from the Proxima system has led to the destabilization of its star. The hologram zoomed in on a furiously pulsating red dwarf star, surrounded by the twisted wreckage of what were once massive harvesting arrays. Gasps and murmurs rippled through the audience as the full scale of the disaster became apparent. If left unchecked, Jolak continued, their voice grave, the star will go nova within a standard galactic month. The resulting explosion will not only destroy the Proxima system, but will also cause catastrophic damage to neighboring systems, including 3 with developing sapient life. The chamber erupted into chaos. Accusations flew between different factions, with the Orcs representatives vehemently denying responsibility, while others called for immediate sanctions. It took several minutes for order to be restored. An avian being, its feathers a riot of metallic hues, raised a wing-like appendage. What of the Proximans themselves? Surely they have the right to defend their own system. Jolak's expression darkened. The Proximans are no more. The initial energy discharge from the failed harvesting attempt caused a cascading failure in their planetary defense systems. Their civilization was wiped out within hours. Silence fell over the chamber, heavy with the weight of an entire species' extinction. We must act now. A gravelly voice cut through the quiet. All eyes turned to Grakthor, the Ergonian representative. His craggy, stone-like face was set in grim determination. Our combined fleets can stabilize the star, but it will take time we do not have. We need a solution, and we need it fast. It was then that Tilani, the Arcturian scientist, stood up. Her tentacles waved in agitation as she spoke. There might be one option. She paused, clearly uncomfortable with what she was about to suggest. We could ask the humans for help. The reaction was immediate and intense. Some representatives recoiled in horror, while others leaned forward with keen interest. Humans were still relatively new to the galactic stage, having achieved faster-than-light travel only a century ago. But in that short time, they had gained a reputation for being unpredictable, innovative, and, above all, formidable. The humans, Grakthor scoffed. They're barely out of their stellar cradle. What could they possibly do that our combined civilizations cannot? Tilani's skin flushed a deep blue, a sign of determination in her species. You underestimate them, Grakthor. Human scientists have been studying stellar manipulation techniques that our people considered mere theoretical exercises. They call it star lifting. A holographic display appeared before Tilani, showing complex diagrams and equations. Their theories suggest they could not only stabilize the star, but potentially reverse the damage and prevent the nova entirely. The chamber fell into hushed discussions. The idea of involving humans in such a delicate matter was controversial, to say the least. Humans were known for their excessive methods. Ambassador Jolak raised a hand for silence. We must consider all options. The fate of multiple worlds hangs in the balance. I propose we put it to a vote. Should we request human assistance in the Proxima crisis? As the voting commenced, no one in the chamber could have predicted the chain of events they were about to set in motion. The humans were coming, and with them, a solution that would redefine the very concept of overkill in the eyes of the galactic community. Unbeknownst to the Galactic Council, on a blue-green planet several thousand light-years away, a young human scientist named Dr. Ilara Chen was about to make a breakthrough that would change everything. In her lab deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, She stared at her holographic displays with wide-eyed disbelief. AI. She called out to her AI assistant, "Run the simulation again. There's no way this is right." The AI's calm voice filled the lab. "Simulation complete, Dr. Chen. Results are consistent with previous iterations. The stellar array is theoretically capable of stabilizing a red dwarf star in the process of going nova." Ilara ran her hands through her short, spiky hair, her mind racing with the implications. What had started as a thought experiment, a way to harness the power of stars for human expansion, had suddenly become something much more profound. As she prepared to present her findings to the Global Science Council, she had no idea that across the galaxy, her name was about to be called upon to save billions of lives. The stage was set. Humanity's moment to prove itself among the stars had arrived. Human response. The Global Science Council chamber in New Geneva hummed with anticipation. Dr. Ilara Chen stood at the podium, her heart racing as she faced the assembled leaders of Earth's scientific community. Behind her, a massive holoscreen displayed complex equations and simulations of her stellar array. "Ladies and gentlemen," she began, her voice steady despite her nerves, "what you're looking at is not just a theory, but a viable solution to manipulate stellar matter on an unprecedented scale. We call it Project Prometheus." The room erupted in a mix of excited murmurs and skeptical whispers. Dr. Akira Tanaka, the elderly head of the council, leaned forward. "Dr. Chen, are you suggesting we can control the very hearts of stars?" Ilara nodded, a glimmer of excitement in her eyes. "Not just control, Dr. Tanaka. We can heal them, stabilize them, even harvest their energy without causing harm. The possibilities are endless." Before the discussion could go further, a holographic figure materialized in the center of the room. It was Admiral Helena Frost, the stern-faced leader of the United Earth Space Force. "I apologize for the interruption," Frost said, her voice crisp and authoritative, "but we've just received an urgent communication from the Galactic Council. There's been an incident in the Proxima system. A star is going nova, and they're asking for our help." The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Dr. Chen's eyes widened. "Proxima? But that's—" "Yes, Dr. Chen." Frost nodded grimly. "It's the closest star system to Earth besides our own Sol. The shockwave from a nova that close could have catastrophic effects on our solar system." Dr. Tanaka stood, his usual calm demeanor shaken. "Admiral, surely the advanced species of the Galactic Council have the means to handle this. Why come to us?" Frost's hologram flickered as she pulled up additional data. "According to their message, they've exhausted all conventional methods. They specifically requested our assistance, mentioning something called star lifting." All eyes turned to Dr. Chen, who felt a mixture of pride and terror wash over her. Her theoretical work was about to be put to the ultimate test. "Dr. Chen," Admiral Frost addressed her directly, "how quickly can you adapt Project Prometheus for this mission?" Ilara's mind raced through calculations and possibilities. "With a full team and unlimited resources, we could have a prototype ready in 3 weeks. But Admiral, we've never tested this on a real star, let alone one that's about to go nova." "You have 2 weeks, Frost declared. "I'm instituting Emergency Protocol Omega. All of Earth's resources are at your disposal, Doctor. Failure is not an option." As the room burst into action, Ilara felt the weight of not just humanity, but multiple alien civilizations resting on her shoulders. She took a deep breath and steeled herself for the challenge ahead. Over the next 2 weeks, the entire planet mobilized with a single purpose. Shipyards that normally took years to produce a single starship were now manufacturing specialized components for the stellar array at breakneck speeds. AI systems worked tirelessly, optimizing designs and running simulations. Dr. Chen barely slept, surviving on a combination of synthetic caffeine and sheer determination. Her team grew from a handful of researchers to thousands of the brightest minds Earth had to offer. On the 13th day, As Ilara was reviewing the final designs, she received an unexpected visitor. A shimmering portal opened in her lab, and out stepped Jolak, the alien ambassador she had only seen in broadcasts from the Galactic Council. "Dr. Chen," Jolak said, their iridescent skin reflecting the blue glow of holographic displays. "I hope I'm not intruding." Ilara blinked in surprise. "Ambassador Jolak, no, you're not intruding. How can I help you?" The alien's expression was difficult to read, but their voice carried a note of desperation. "I came to see for myself. The entire galaxy is watching, Dr. Chen. Many doubt that such a young species could succeed where others have failed. Some even fear that your attempt might accelerate the nova." Ilara straightened her back, meeting Jolak's gaze. "Ambassador, I understand the risks, but I also know what we're capable of. Humanity has faced extinction-level threats before, and each time, we've come back stronger. This time, we're not just fighting for ourselves, but for everyone." Jolak studied her for a long moment before nodding. "Your confidence is reassuring. I will report back to the Council that the humans are indeed our best hope." As the ambassador departed, Ilara turned back to her work with renewed vigor. The next day, she stood on the bridge of the UES Hawking, Earth's most advanced scientific vessel, as it prepared to lead a fleet of ships carrying the components of Project Prometheus. Admiral Frost's voice came through the comms. "Dr. Chen, is your team ready?" Ilara looked around at the determined faces of her crew, a mix of brilliant scientists and hardened space engineers. "As ready as we'll ever be, Admiral. We're about to attempt the impossible, but then again, that's what humanity does best." "Well said, Doctor," Frost replied. "You have the full support of Earth behind you. Good luck, and Godspeed." As the fleet engaged its FTL drives, disappearing into the depths of space, the hopes of multiple civilizations went with them. Humanity was about to show the galaxy what overkill truly meant when it came to saving lives and pushing the boundaries of science. Little did they know, their actions in the coming days would not only save a star system, but would fundamentally alter the balance of power in the galaxy forever. First contact and conflict. The UES Hawking dropped out of FTL on the outskirts of the Proxima system, followed closely by its fleet of support vessels. The scene that greeted them was one of chaos and devastation. Proxima Centauri, once a stable red dwarf, now pulsed an angry, swollen red. Surrounding it was a graveyard of alien ships and structures, twisted and broken by the star's violent outbursts. In the distance, the ruined husk of Proxima, once home to a flourishing civilization, served as a grim reminder of what was at stake. On the bridge of the Hawking, Dr. Ilara Chen's breath caught in her throat. "My God," she whispered, "it's worse than we thought." Captain Yuki Tanaka, a veteran of countless space missions, stood beside her. "I've never seen anything like it," she admitted. "The star's already begun to cannibalize its inner planets." Ilara's mind raced. "We need to act fast. Begin deploying the Stelliser array. I want all components in position within the hour." As the human fleet sprang into action, a massive alien vessel approached. Its design was like nothing the humans had ever seen, organic yet mechanical, as if it had been grown rather than built. "We're being hailed," the communications officer announced. Captain Tanaka nodded. On screen, the view screen flickered to life, revealing a being that looked like a cross between a squid and a tree. Its tentacle-like appendages waved gently as it spoke, its words translated by the ship's eye. "Greetings, humans. I am High Commander Zaxlath of the Galactic Peacekeeping Force. We appreciate your prompt response to our distress call." Ilara stepped forward. "High Commander, I'm Dr. Ilara Chen, lead scientist of Project Prometheus. We're prepared to begin stabilization procedures immediately." Zaxlath's appendages rippled in what might have been surprise. "So soon? Our simulation suggested it would take at least a standard galactic month to prepare for such an operation." Captain Tanaka allowed herself a small smile. With all due respect, High Commander, humans work on a different timescale when the fate of worlds is at stake. As if to underscore her point, the components of the stellar array began to unfold in space around them. Massive reflector dishes, each the size of a small moon, positioned themselves in a complex geometric pattern around the dying star. Zaxlath's many eyes blinked in rapid succession. Fascinating. But surely you don't intend to activate the device yet. The risk of accelerating the nova is less than the risk of inaction, Ilara interrupted firmly. Every moment we delay, the star grows more unstable. We need to begin now. The alien commander seemed to hesitate, its appendages twisting in agitation. I am not authorized to approve such a risky operation. The Galactic Council must be consulted. Captain Tanaka's expression hardened. With respect, High Commander, we didn't come here to ask for permission. We came here to save lives. Before Zaxlath could respond, alarms blared across both human and alien ships. The star was entering a new phase of instability. Energy spike detected, shouted the Hawking's science officer. If we don't act now, we'll lose our window of opportunity. Ilara turned to Captain Tanaka, determination burning in her eyes. Captain, request permission to activate Project Prometheus. Tanaka didn't hesitate. Permission granted, Doctor. Save that star. Zaxlath's protests were drowned out as Ilara gave the command. Initiate stellar sequence. All hands, brace for gravitational fluctuations. The massive array hummed to life, each dish focusing an incredibly powerful beam of coherent light directly into the heart of Proxima Centauri. The space around the star seemed to warp and bend as the beams penetrated deep into its core. For a terrifying moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, slowly but surely, the star's violent pulsations began to calm. Streams of plasma that had been erupting chaotically now flowed in more controlled patterns. It's working, Ilara exclaimed, her eyes fixed on the redouts. Core temperature is stabilizing. Fusion reactions are rebalancing. The bridge crew of the Hawking cheered, but their celebration was short-lived. A new alert sounded, this time from the tactical station. Captain, the tactical officer shouted, we've got multiple ships dropping out of FTL. They're on an attack vector. Captain Tanaka's eyes narrowed. Identify. Sir, they're Orcs vessels, the ones responsible for destabilizing the star in the first place. On the view screen, Zaxlath's appendages writhed in alarm. Impossible. They wouldn't dare. The alien's words were cut off as the first volley of Orcs weapons fire streaked across space, narrowly missing one of the stellar dishes. Captain Tanaka's voice was steel. Red alert. All hands to battle stations. Dr. Chen, how long until the stabilization process is complete? Ilara's fingers flew over her console. At least another hour. If they damage even one dish, the entire operation could fail. Tanaka nodded grimly. Then we hold the line. For an hour. For Proxima. For every life in this system and beyond. She turned to her tactical officer. Bring all weapons online. Coordinate with the Galactic Peacekeeping Force. We are not losing this star today. As the human fleet and their alien allies move to engage the Orcs attackers, the fate of not just Proxima, but potentially the entire sector hung in the balance. The next hour would test the limits of human ingenuity, determination, and firepower. And in the heart of the maelstrom, Project Prometheus continued its work, reaching into the very soul of a dying star, proving that sometimes humanity's version of overkill was exactly what the universe needed. Escalation and innovation. The space around Proxima Centauri erupted into chaos as the Orcs fleet engaged the combined forces of humanity and the Galactic Peacekeeping Force. Energy weapons crisscrossed the void, while swarms of autonomous fighter drones danced deadly ballets between larger capital ships. On the bridge of the UES Hawking, Captain Yuki Tanaka barked orders in rapid succession. Evasive pattern Delta. Focus fire on their lid ships. We need to keep them away from the Stellar Array at all costs. Dr. Ilara Chen worked feverishly at her station, dividing her attention between the ongoing star stabilization process and the battle raging around them. Captain, the Orcs weapons are unlike anything we've encountered. They're using some kind of gravitic distortion technology. As if to emphasize her point, a nearby human frigate was caught in one of these distortion fields. The ship stretched and contorted grotesquely before imploding in a silent flash of light. Damn it. Tanaka slammed her fist on her armrest. We're losing ships faster than we can reposition. Dr. Chen, we need options. Ilara's mind raced. The Stellar Array was working, slowly but surely stabilizing Proxima Centauri. But at this rate, they'd lose their defensive line long before the process was complete. Then an idea struck her. Captain, what if we could use their own weapons against them? Her fingers flew across her console as she spoke. The Stellar Array isn't just manipulating the star's matter. It's controlling gravity itself on a massive scale. Understanding dawned in Tanaka's eyes. You want to weaponize the array. Is that even possible? Theoretically, yes, Ilara nodded. But we'd need to reconfigure the entire network on the fly. It would take every ounce of computing power we have, and then some. Captain Tanaka didn't hesitate. Do it. Whatever you need. Ilara turned to the ship's AI interface. RIA. Initiate Protocol Omega Epsilon. I need a direct neural link to the Stellar control systems. Warning. RIA's calm voice replied. Direct neural interfacing at this scale carries significant risks to the user's cognitive functions. Acknowledged, Ilara said grimly. Do it anyway. Escalation and innovation. The space around Proxima Centauri erupted into chaos as the Orcs fleet engaged the combined forces of humanity and the Galactic peacekeeping force. Energy weapons crisscrossed the void, while swarms of autonomous fighter drones danced deadly ballets between larger capital ships. On the bridge of the UES Hawking, Captain Yuki Tanaka barked orders in rapid succession. Evasive pattern Delta. Focus fire on their lead ships. We need to keep them away from the Stellar Array at all costs. Dr. Ilara Chen worked feverishly at her station, dividing her attention between the ongoing star stabilization process and the battle raging around them. Captain, the Orcs weapons are unlike anything we've encountered. They're using some kind of gravitic distortion technology. As if to emphasize her point, a nearby human frigate was caught in one of these distortion fields. The ship stretched and contorted grotesquely before imploding in a silent flash of light. Damn it. Tanaka slammed her fist on her armrest. We're losing ships faster than we can reposition. Dr. Chen, we need options. Ilara's mind raced. The Stellar Array was working, slowly but surely stabilizing Proxima Centauri. But at this rate, they'd lose their defensive line long before the process was complete. Then an idea struck her. Captain, what if we could use their own weapons against them? Her fingers flew across her console as she spoke. The Stellar Array isn't just manipulating the star's matter. It's controlling gravity itself on a massive scale. Understanding dawned in Tanaka's eyes. You want to weaponize the array. Is that even possible? Theoretically, yes, Ilara nodded. But we'd need to reconfigure the entire network on the fly. It would take every ounce of computing power we have, and then some. Captain Tanaka didn't hesitate. Do it. Whatever you need. Ilara turned to the ship's AI interface. RIA. Initiate Protocol Omega Epsilon. I need a direct neural link to the Stellar control systems. Warning. RIA's calm voice replied. Direct neural interfacing at this scale carries significant risks to the user's cognitive functions. Acknowledged, Ilara said grimly. Do it anyway. As the neural interface was prepared, the battle continued to rage. The Galactic peacekeeping force, initially hesitant, had fully committed to the fight. High Commander Zaxlav's voice crackled over the comms. Captain Tanaka, our forces are stretched to the breaking point. Whatever your Dr. Chen is planning, it must happen soon. Tanaka watched as Ilara was connected to a complex array of neural interfaces. Understood, High Commander. Just hold on a little longer. The moment the neural link was established, Ilara's world exploded into a cosmos of data. She could feel the pulse of Proxima Centauri, the ebb and flow of gravitational forces, the intricate dance of subatomic particles. With a thought, she began to reshape the stellar array's energy output. On the view screen, the effects were immediate and awe-inspiring. Beams of coherent light that had been focused on the star now bent in impossible ways, creating a web of energy that enveloped the battlefield. By the cosmic egg, Zaxlath gasped. What is this? Orcs ships caught in the gravitic web began to distort and twist, their own weapons rendered useless against the overwhelming forces now at play. Some vessels were compressed into dense balls of matter, while others were stretched into impossibly thin strands before dissipating entirely. But the strain on Ilara was immense. Blood trickled from her nose as she fought to maintain control over forces that no human was meant to wield directly. Ilara, Captain Tanaka called out, genuine fear in her voice. You need to disconnect. You're killing yourself. Through gritted teeth, Ilara managed to speak. Not yet. Almost done. With a final, Herculean effort, she redirected a massive surge of energy from the star itself. A shockwave of gravitational force exploded outward, catching the remaining Orcs ships and crushing them into oblivion. As suddenly as it began, the battle was over. The space around Proxima Centauri fell silent, save for the steady hum of the stellar array continuing its work. Ilara collapsed, the neural interface disengaging automatically. Medical teams rushed to her side as Captain Tanaka called for an immediate status report. Star stabilization at 89% and holding, Araya reported. Estimated time to completion, 15 minutes. Orcs threat neutralized. Collateral damage to friendly forces, minimal. High Commander Zaxlath's voice came through once more, a mix of awe and trepidation in its tone. Captain Tanaka. We had no idea humans were capable of such things. The Galactic Council will need to be informed immediately. Tanaka's attention was split between the view screen and the medical team attending to Ilara. Understood, High Commander. But right now my priority is my crew and finishing what we came here to do. As the stellar array continued its work, the implications of what had just occurred began to sink in. Humanity had not only saved a star and countless lives, but had also demonstrated a level of technological prowess and adaptability that would send shockwaves through the galactic community. The age of human expansion into the cosmos had truly begun, and the galaxy would never be the same. Resolution and aftermath. The observation deck of the UVA's Hawking was eerily quiet. Captain Yuki Tanaka stood with her hands clasped behind her back, watching as the last pulses of energy from the stellar array dissipated into the now calm surface of Proxima Centauri. Beside her, Dr. Ilara Chen sat in a hovering medical chair, still recovering from the neural interface ordeal. Final stabilization confirmed. Araya's voice broke the silence. Proxima Centauri has been successfully restored to its pre-incident state. Stellar lifespan estimate, 4.5 trillion years. A collective exhale seemed to pass through the entire ship. They had done it. Against all odds, humanity had not only prevented a catastrophe, but had extended the life of a star far beyond its natural span. Ilara's voice was hoarse but filled with wonder. We didn't just save a star system, Captain. We've rewritten the laws of stellar physics as the galaxy understands them. Tanaka nodded, a mix of pride and concern on her face. And in doing so, we've changed our place in the galactic order. For better or worse. As if on cue, a communication request chimed. It was from the Galactic Council itself. The main view screen flickered to life, revealing a panel of alien faces. At the center was Ambassador Jolek, flanked by representatives from a dozen species. Their expressions ranged from awe to thinly veiled fear. Captain Tanaka, Dr. Chen, Zholak began, their voice carefully neutral. On behalf of the Galactic Council, I extend our deepest gratitude for your intervention in the Proxima crisis. Your actions have saved countless lives and preserved irreplaceable stellar bodies. Before Tanaka could respond, another counselor spoke up. It was Grak Thor, the Ergonian representative. While we appreciate the outcome, we cannot ignore the means by which it was achieved. The level of technology displayed by your species is unprecedented for such a young civilization. Murmurs of agreement rippled through the council. Tanaka straightened, her voice firm. With respect, counselors, we used the tools at our disposal to solve a problem that threatened not just our nearest stellar neighbor, but potentially our own solar system. We did what needed to be done. And therein lies the concern. A new voice chimed in. A hologram of an Arcser appeared, its scaled face unreadable. Your species' propensity for overkill is alarming. The destruction of our fleet. Your fleet, Ilara interrupted, her eyes flashing, which was attempting to sabotage a rescue operation and had already caused the extinction of an entire civilization. The Arcser representative hissed but fell silent. Zholak raised a hand for calm. The point remains. Humanity has demonstrated capabilities that upset the balance of power in our sector of the galaxy. The Council must convene to discuss the implications. Captain Tanaka's expression hardened. And what exactly will you be discussing, Ambassador? Sanctions, restrictions on our technological development. Tense silence fell over the communication. Finally, an elderly Arcturian spoke, its voice filled with ancient wisdom. Perhaps we are approaching this from the wrong angle. Instead of fearing this power, we should seek to understand and collaborate. Nods of agreement began to spread among the council members. Zholak seemed to consider this for a moment before speaking again. Captain Tanaka, Dr. Chen, the Galactic Council hereby extends an invitation to Earth. We propose the establishment of a joint scientific and cultural exchange program. Your people have much to teach us, and we have much to learn. Ilara and Tanaka exchanged glances, a mix of surprise and hope in their eyes. This was an unprecedented opportunity. We would be honored, Ambassador, Tanaka replied. But let me be clear, we come as equals, not as subjects. Humanity's drive to explore, to push boundaries. What you call overkill is integral to who we are. We won't compromise on that. Zolak's iridescent skin shimmered in what might have been amusement. We would expect nothing less, Captain. The galaxy, it seems, is about to become a much more interesting place. As the communication ended, Tanaka turned to Ilara. Well, Doctor, it looks like your Stelliser array was just the beginning. Ready to rewrite the stars again. Ilara grinned, her mind already racing with possibilities. Captain, I think we're ready to rewrite the whole damn galaxy. In the weeks and months that followed, the ripples of the Proxima incident spread far and wide. Earth became a hub of interstellar diplomacy and scientific exchange. The Stelliser technology, now known across the galaxy as the Prometheus Protocol, was adapted for everything from terraforming to clean energy production on a scale never before imagined. Human ships, emblazoned with the new insignia of the Terran Stellar Alliance, began to venture further into the cosmic unknown. They carried with them not just the indomitable human spirit of exploration, but a message to the universe at large. Humanity had arrived on the galactic stage, and they were just getting started. As for the Arcser Collective, they found themselves facing not just sanctions from the Galactic Council, but a new economic and technological rival in humanity. Their once unchallenged dominance in energy harvesting technology crumbled in the face of human innovation. In a quiet corner of the galaxy, on a world yet untouched by interstellar politics, a young alien child looked up at the night sky. In the distance, a star pulsed with an odd rhythmic pattern. Unknown to the child, It was a stellar nursery, carefully tended by human stellar arrays, giving birth to new suns and new possibilities. The age of human cosmic engineering had begun, and the galaxy would never be the same again.